The Beef Market Update with Ann Dunford on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Haney Farms. Do you need seed? Find us at haneyfarms.com. It's time for another edition of the Beef Market Update with Ann Dunford on RealAgriculture.com. Welcome today, Ann.
Hi, Shaun.
And let's talk about the markets. A little bit of Christmas cheer going on, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, markets have been in a great run, especially fed cattle markets for the past little while. The futures market more so than maybe the cash, especially if you're looking south of the border. But nevertheless, it's given you a nice kind of viewpoint into 2013 as to what the trade's expecting, and that's obviously tighter supplies and higher cattle prices.
A lot of opportunities for people to lock in some profits.
There's starting to be more, and I think that needs to get on the watch list as producers are thinking about inventory in 2013, whether it's futures or options or in Alberta CPIP or forward contracting. So I think there's a wide range of opportunities starting to develop, and I think we'll continue to offer opportunities heading into the spring. So keep your eyes open, be ready.
Okay, when you're looking at this market, though, does it feel like this is one of those opportunities, like it's a small window, or is this maybe an indication of the first quarter could be better than we first thought?
Well, I mean, we've always been fairly bullish first quarter, or I most certainly have, so I don't think I've drastically changed those forecasts as we head towards. So I'm going to call 2013 to be a very seasonal type year, spring high, followed by a summer low. But we're only in December, and so taking from a kind of a winter low to a spring high, the futures market doesn't even quite have that booked in yet. So I think there's going to be some great opportunities ahead, but you don't want to get complacent either and just say you wait for everything. So if the run's going to be a bit explosive here after the first of the year, then be wide awake.
Yeah, we've seen a couple times where this door of things looking better just slams shut very quickly.
Yeah. And this is one area where maybe you look at starting to step in some coverage and things like that. So there's different ways to mitigate that.
We're getting closer to like that time of year where we go to NCBA and we hear the cattle facts update. And last year in February, we heard a lot of hoopla. There was like excitement galore going on in terms of where prices were going to be. What do you think at this point we're going to see when we get to February, beginning of February through the middle of January?
Well, it could be a lot of the same. And I don't want to say broken record because it was still a fairly good year in 2012, but granted not as good as many thought. But again, as we head to NCBA at the beginning of February, it's going to be showing a lot of the same kind of tendencies as we go into 2013, and that is tighter cattle supplies. Now, the big kicker, of course, in 2012 was the drought, and when we met last February, corn was $5 a bushel, and by the time we got around to really getting into the seeding season, it was $8. So that was the kicker for 2012, and I guess that's the big unknown for 2013.
Yeah, how will the rancher feel about 2012?
I think he felt good. I mean, my opinion would be, of course, they would have been profitable, I would suggest, on average, and quite nicely. And the flip side would have been we had moisture, of course, in Western Canada in most parts, whereas you look south at our peers in the U.S., and that was the big problem, hay shortages and water shortages and all those kinds of things. So I think from where we were sitting, especially vis-a-vis our American counterparts, Canadian cow-calf producers should be feeling pretty good about how 2012 unfolded. Granted, higher feed costs did take some of the icing off the top of those calf prices.
Cow herd still going like this, or is it starting to go like this?
I think that was a sign for up. So I'm gonna say on the Canadian side, most certainly the interest on retaining heifers for replacement has continued in 2012, and here in the last 2 months especially. Now, up until now, I think the argument could be strong, Shaun, that a lot of those were just to simply replace the cows that had left the herd. But I think now as we end up 2012 and into 2013, I do think when we get the StatsCan data out for the first of this year, and that'll be by the second part of February when we see that data, it's going to start to show a little bit of an increase. But you can see what Mother Nature did to the U.S. herd. They thought they'd be in a position of starting to expand the herd, and that's all been for naught. So looking for actually a smaller herd when they come out on with their 2013 numbers.
Thanks a lot, Ann. We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thanks, Shaun.